The Steam game library is filled with so many games that it would take a very long time to play every single one of them. Being on PC, Steam can be more accessible than the latest consoles, and its games regularly go on sale, while it boasts a huge catalogue of awesome single-player games. And watching friends play games can be fun. The platform's co-op games shouldn't be overlooked either. There are a lot of games on Steam that let you and your friends play together, whether you're in the same room or online. Lethal Company is one of those games that you could technically play solo, but the real fun comes from getting a group of friends together to amplify the experience tenfold. The game's title refers to the company, the place you work for. Your job is to consistently meet its assigned quotas, and it's particularly strict if you don't. At the same time, since part of your job includes exploring unfamiliar moons, you'll inevitably run into some entities that are less than friendly, to put it lightly. You have a range of tools and weapons to aid and protect you, but having friends around can raise your chances of success at night, whether they act as direct aids or unwitting sacrifices to slow down the creatures chasing you.
So we need to get the out of here, like now. I can't see you guys, you have to go slower. I can't tell where you guys are.
On the surface, Content Warning's art style might make you think it's a cute, light-hearted game where you go on fun adventures with friends. Once you get into the actual gameplay, though, things change fast. It's a horror game where you and your friend's goal is to find and film spooky stuff in the old world to upload to SpookTube and become famous. If your content does well, you can buy upgrades to make your filming even better. The only caveat is that you have to actually survive the things you capture on camera first. Content Warning is more about outrunning the horrors rather than brute forcing through them. See which of your group is the best at running away. Taking place in a different version of the city of Los Sueños, Ready or Not, has you take on the role of a commander in the LSPD SWAT team. You constantly have to keep your guard up in your goal to take down dangerous criminals, and being a commander means you're in charge of your team's tactics. If you're looking for something more than a mindless shooter, Ready or Not is that game. You have to think strategically for both yourself and your team to succeed in your missions. If you underestimate the AI, you'll find yourself dead pretty quickly. Though you can play the game solo with AI companions, the game was practically made for co-op with real people. Grab up to 4 friends and start shooting. If you think you've played all the good shooters there are, think again. Playing as crabs is a funny concept, but Crab Champions is more than meme material. It's a genuinely fun third-person shooter with fast-paced gameplay that has you think on your feet. The types of enemies you encounter and loot you collect change every run, so it doesn't get predictable anytime soon. You and up to 3 other players can play together to obliterate foes and attempt challenges. If you manage to beat those challenges, you unlock the different skins the game has to offer. No need to get out the wallet for anything. You earn everything just for playing the game. Survival games can start feeling samey after a while, but Grounded adds a twist to the formula by shrinking your characters down and having them fight for their lives against bugs. The insects are normal size to anyone else, but to you, they're gigantic. Naturally, one of the goals is to find out how and why you've been shrunk down. But to get those answers, you need to survive. You can play with up to 3 other people, and everyone can fulfill a particular role as you customize your skills and gear. You also have a base you can fortify to protect you from your insect enemies, but sometimes they'll come knocking at your door. Stay vigilant and work as a team to fend them off. Cuphead is a platformer that you can play solo, but why do that when you can suffer with a friend instead? It has a co-op mode where your friend can play alongside you as Mugman. The game is known for 2 things: its wonderfully hand-drawn animation that's reminiscent of older cartoon art styles, and its difficulty. Don't think that having another person playing makes the game easier. If anything, it makes it harder. That's because the game accounts for it with more enemies and higher HP bars. That, plus the distractions of another character on the screen, might end up with more deaths than in single player. But even though it's more difficult, co-op is decidedly more fun in co-op. If you're up for a challenge, try it with a friend. For the king sees you, citizens of a murdered king, braving nature to stop imminent chaos from reaching your kingdom. The game has a little of everything. It's reminiscent of both strategy and roguelike games, with some RPG elements mixed in. These ingredients make an extraordinary cake of tough, but fun, turn-based combat, several ways to maneuver battles, and near-endless replay value. Your party members don't have to be CPUs. All characters in your party can be replaced with a friend, and whether that helps or hinders you is completely up to your group. Put your heads together to determine what the best course of action is so that your success is guaranteed. For something with a little more sci-fi, Deep Rock Galactic is a great choice. It's an FPS co-op game that specializes in destroying both aliens and your environment. You and your friends explore, and most likely wreck, dark caves that house marvelous treasures and bloodthirsty enemies. There are 4 classes to choose from, so each person contributes something different during your journey, and you won't be able to predict what comes next with procedurally generated caves. Of course, the weapons you get to use are made for ultimate demolition, but whether you break everything or just your enemies is up to you. Battle Block Theatre separates itself from most other platformers with its sense of humour. It doesn't take itself seriously, and that makes you want to keep playing and see where else it can go. In the game, you've been captured, and you're expected to entertain cats who are watching your every move. There are 300 friends you have to rescue as you platform and battle your way out of your predicament. There are countless obstacles, enemies and traps you have to maneuver around or destroy to win. The game also has a co-op mode where a friend can join you locally or online to beat the evil cats together. There are also 9 arena modes that you and 3 friends can play locally if you're feeling more competitive. This game was made to play with others. Even if you choose to play alone, an AI companion joins you. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time is a colourful neon space shooter where you must rescue space bunnies who were kidnapped by anti-love agents. A single person can't control all the mechanisms in the ship, so you and your friends have to rely on each other to do the right thing at the right time with the different tools. The levels are randomly generated, so they'll never be predictable. Whether playing this builds camaraderie and trust, or ends in arguments, is up to you and your friends, but it'll be a fun time either way. You can play with up to 3 other friends locally. Portal 2 is a classic if you love puzzle games. It once again stars Chell and GLaDOS from the first game, as well as a personality core companion named Wheatley. However, the 2-player co-op mode it offers actually has a completely unique story to the single-player mode. You still have to solve puzzles with your portal guns, but you must put your heads together and collaborate to make it through each challenge. And once you're done with the campaign, there are a bunch of user-made custom maps that you and your friend can try to beat together. You can play with a friend, either locally or online. Sons of the Forest is a sequel to The Forest. And though it's in early access, you can still have plenty of fun with it. It's an open-world survival game where you're up against cannibals, mutants, and the forces of nature. It's even more entertaining when you're playing with others. And you can do so with up to 7 other people online. Whether you play with friends or let the public join your game, there's a lot to do together. You can take down enemies, uncover the mysteries of the island, and build things for survival, or just mess each other's progress up and kill each other. Either way, it's a time to remember. Committing crimes with your friends in real life isn't recommended, but you can go wild in Payday 2. It's a first-person shooter that comes with character customization and a skill tree. Your goal is to make money by doing a variety of heists, from robbing banks and taking hostages to cybercrimes. You have to work with 3 other people online to successfully pull off your heists, and whatever skills you invest in will set you apart from them. Even if you choose the same type of heist, the scenarios don't play out the same, so there's always something new to experience. Plus, trying to commit crimes with other people will almost surely lead to some chaos. The Overcooked series is all about coordinating with your friends and racing against the clock to get things done. You have to work as a team to prepare different kinds of dishes for hungry customers, and while it may sound simple, the steps become more complex with each stage. Yelling at each other during the chaos is part of the fun. Up to 3 friends can join you in Overcooked. The first game only offers couch co-op, but all you can eat and Overcooked. 2 have options for both local and online co-op play. As its title suggests, It Takes Two was made specifically for co-op between you and someone else. The game's story follows 2 characters whose relationship is on the verge of collapse, and you and your friend each control one of those characters. You have to help each other get from place to place with special abilities and work together to complete the chapters in this challenging platformer. It Takes Two lets you play co-op locally and online. You can download the Friends Pass for free so that 2 people can play online, even if only one of them owns the game. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is another game made for multiple players, specifically those who enjoy puzzle solving and fancy themselves as good communicators. The person who has the bomb is the diffuser, while everyone else is an expert. These experts have to instruct the diffuser on how to disarm the bomb. The catch? The experts can't actually see the bomb. Of course, there's a time limit, so you have to work fast and communicate properly with one another to survive. The game can be played with 2 to 4 friends, and you can play it locally or online as long as you have some way of talking with each other. Among Us is a popular choice for multiplayer games, and for good reason. Not only is it cheap, but you'll most likely play through a bunch of rounds before you get tired of it. Everyone will have to do tasks around the ship, except for the designated imposter, whose mission is to kill every other player on board. Deception and distrust are key parts of the game. It's a great option for larger friend groups, as it can hold up to 15 players in one lobby. You can play it online or in couch co-op. Fall Guys is another popular game, especially now that it's free to play. If your friends are looking for something more light-hearted, Fall Guys is pretty much guaranteed to make you laugh out loud, with all the inevitable falls and grabs that you'll experience. The less familiar you are with the levels, the funnier it'll be. Of course, you can also try to take it seriously and beat everyone to win the crown, but there'll be laughs regardless. The game is only available for online play, and up to 3 friends can join you to compete with over 50 other people. Phasmophobia is a terrifyingly fun time for horror fans. You and your friends play ghost hunters who are on a mission to gather as much evidence of paranormal activity as possible. However, there are all types of ghosts you'll encounter along the way who are also hunting you. Using your voice for communication is an essential part of this game, but beware, it's not just your friends who are listening. Up to 3 of your friends can join you in Phasmophobia, but it's only available for online play. Stardew Valley is plenty of fun, even just in single player, but bringing friends into it makes for an enjoyable long-term experience. There are lots of activities to do in this life simulation game, such as fishing, farming, and even fighting the occasional monster. Nothing is taken away in multiplayer. In fact, some things are added to accommodate the extra players, like being able to marry each other instead of NPCs. You can have up to 3 friends join you on your farm, either locally or online. Don't Starve Together is the same game as Don't Starve, but with co-op. In this survival game, you have to work together to explore areas, gather resources and build things, all while overcoming the obstacles nature throws at you. In addition to that, there are monsters and a mystery you can slowly unravel as you play through the game. Up to 6 players can attempt to not starve together. You can play it online, and the Steam version technically doesn't support local co-op, though you can make it work. But there are a few hoops you have to jump through for that. We had high expectations for Diablo 4, and we're so happy to say that Blizzard has smashed them. This is a title that takes Diablo 3's meaningful quality of life improvements and expands upon them with aplomb, while also bringing back the much-loved look and feel of Diablo 2. All the while, it's not too focused on the past, taking the series into open-world territory and making it more story-led than ever before. And what a story it tells. We never expected to be so invested. But more importantly, we can't wait to start a new character and jump once again into the end game. Diablo 4 is devilishly good, the best Diablo game yet in fact, and it only stands to get better. From the creators of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons comes A Way Out, an exclusively co-op adventure where you play the role of one of two prisoners making their daring escape from prison. What begins as a thrilling breakout quickly turns into an unpredictable, emotional adventure, unlike anything seen or played before. A Way Out is an experience that must be played with two players. Each player controls one of the main characters, Leo and Vincent, in a reluctant alliance to break out of prison and gain their freedom. Helldivers. Nimu. 2 is a third-person squad-based shooter that sees the elite forces of the Helldivers battling to win an intergalactic struggle to rid the galaxy of the rising alien threats. From a third-person perspective, players use a variety of weapons and stratagems to shoot and kill the alien threats. Players can also aim down the sights for a more accurate first-person camera view. Combat is accompanied by frequent sprays of blood and dismemberment as players exterminate the alien forces, or players and squad mates are hit by environmental explosions or friendly fire. Enemy encampments and battlefield environments depict bloodstains and dismembered corpses. Borderlands 3 feels like the return of your favourite band to the studio for one more great album. A collection of hits all brought together to help celebrate what made you fall in love with that band in the first place. The insane amount of content shown here, including side quests, collectibles, and all the throwbacks to previous Vault Hunters and beloved characters, makes Borderlands 3 an absolute delight to play through. It is also a best co-op games in Steam.